Who was here yesterday when I said we were finished? I apologise, I lied. We're not finished. We've got more to go. I said 72 hours I'd look at it. I looked at it for about 45 minutes last night and I thought, no. There's more we want to do here. So we're back here on the small brush with a bad hair day. We're going to keep on adding some paint on this work here. So, hoity-toity-toity, here we go. Our opening colour palette, fun, wild. Our picture, fun, wild. And our plan, fun, wild. All right, let me click this across there. There we go. Okay, so for those who have not been here for where this work started and where this work is going, this is Palm Springs, and we're painting a specific location in Palm Springs, not because that location's important, but because the color palette of it, the composition, reflects perfectly with what we're after. In this case, what we're after is this absolute explosion of color and palm trees that look like fireworks, a warm mountain, solid but resilient, and these lovely reflections in the water. So that's what we're here to get. If we can get all of that, we'll be away. But at this stage, I've got more. I've got more than I want. We're not there yet. We're not there, but we're close. We're closing in on what's required. I actually sent Jacob an email. I said to him, I think we're finished. I'm going to wait 72 hours. And then straight after I sent it, I was sitting there looking at the work. I'll confess, I'll be completely honest. I was having a Pinot Noir and I was looking at it and I'm like, you can't leave the studio yet. You need a bit more love. So here we are. Hey Ryan, welcome on in. And who else do we have here in this lovely chat today? RC, I'm doing fantastic. You know what? This is a very, very vibrant top. So if that work's giving off these vibes, this work is on the right track. That's what we want. That is a lovely, lovely thing to say, RC. And also, I'm going to keep playing with these chests, guys, because this is the one feature I actually know how to use. I put up a chest, and from what I understand, people leap into the live and can get free coins from it. And that sounds quite simple. The other things kind of get in the way of the painting. When we do things like lightning Q&As or the little draw games and things, I actually get distracted from painting. And I'm thinking, well, it's nice to actually play games. I love to play. We just don't give the artwork the attention, and therefore intention actually, that we want to give it. So we're going to avoid those games, but all I have to do is put up a treasure chest of money and people can take it. Sure, why not? That's easy. It's so blunt too though, if that's what it is. It's like, come join the stream, there's a treasure chest of money waiting for you. Like, when if you take away the fancy lights of it, you're basically just saying, please come, I'll give you money. I'm not against it. I just think the premise of it's hilarious. Why am I always rude? I'm sorry for being rude. Whatever I said, I didn't mean to be rude. I try not to be. I get told I'm condescending a lot, and that's fair. I'm a little bit condescending. I don't mean to be as well. I'm in my own little world, and so I laugh at things, and that's not... I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing in my own little world. Like it's a different thing. Yeah. But if I have come off rude at you, I'm very, very sorry. Let this video be my formal apology letter to whoever that was who said I was rude. And I'm determined as a person and as a live streamer on TikTok to do better for you and everyone else out there. Those in the stream, those not in the stream yet, and those who don't yet know the stream exists because they haven't found that treasure box that gives away free money to those who join it. Aloha, Steve, welcome on in. 58 vibes, good, 58 vibes. I'm not sure what the unit we're measuring here is, but honestly, I'm glad we've got 58 of them. That's excellent news. We are in New Zealand at the moment. This is the South Island, and I didn't get painting this morning. Sorry, team. I was exhausted. Cooper gave me a real working over last night, and I was up all sorts of hours. So I ended up actually cancelling the morning stream. We went for a swim, and now I'm here today. But like I said, the way the sun works just means that actually it's going to try and set down over that hill. So we're facing this way. It is what it is. And I'm originally from New Zealand, but the North Island. The North Island of all places. You like my paint? Thank you very much. It's not actually mine. Well, it is. I bought it, but I didn't make it. A lot of artists, purists, let's say. Cheers, Glynis. Glynis says, I'm going to put some euphemisms here because I don't want to read out the actual comment, otherwise the stream will get pulled down. But Glynis says, pay no heed to the haters. You do you. There were words also used there that I'm not sure the Collins Dictionary accepts the real words, but I'm glad they were used. They show the emotion, the strength behind it. Where are you from? Oh, you know this is New Zealand. To save me saying that over and over again, guys, so I stop blowing up the audio with the same comments. If you guys who are regulars can just answer those ones, you'd be absolute legends. And I hope we're all doing well today, by the way, guys. I personally am having a bad hair day. I washed it and I've got very little control over it. So it is what it is. We've been growing it a little bit longer than usual. And I don't hate that. I'm here for it. And if you're just joining, I lied to everyone just straight to their faces. A little over 12 hours ago when I said this one was finished. And then I basically hung up the stream and immediately changed. I hung up the stream, sent an email to this painting's owner, and then immediately changed my mind. What do you do with a guy like that? Just lied to just everyone. Just changed my mind. It needs more, guys. I know it feels right from a distance, but up close, there's just these little pockets that we need to add. This kind of intricacy that allows you to keep getting lost in the painting over and over again. The reflections are here, they're looking gorgeous, but it needs that extra little bit of zest to get where the likes of, say, Zambezi River and things are. And now I've got a question about the shirts as well. We're going to come to that in just a second. Oh yes, guys. Okay, very important question. Love this question. What's Seb's workout routine? This is the most important thing. If you meet an artist, whatever you do, don't worry about any other questions. Forget the paint, forget the mediums, forget how long they've been making art, forget where they sell it or what their inspiration is. Solely, you can figure out everything you need to know by their workout routine. Mine has been non-existent for a month. I've been traveling, been hanging out with the baby, been enjoying life, been developing a little bit of a tummy. And I'm here for it. It's fixable. I've been living life. It's fun. You should post more often on YouTube. I try to. When you say post more often, do you mean go live or do you mean Do you mean? Just general posting of videos, because I put all the replays that we do here up onto YouTube. And just quickly, what I was going to say before is with this shirt, so I had a sample arrive from America. I got a funky Hawaiian shirt printed in, I think it's California. But here's the thing, guys. It cost me $100 US to get it. Now, 110, I think, with the shipping included. Now, $110, it's quite a nice shirt. It's very well printed. It's much better than this one. And I'm wondering, how do we feel about that? $110, that's what it cost me to make it. So I'd probably charge an extra $10, $20 on top of that. So we're looking at about $120 to $30-ish. Strikes me that's big bucks. I'm on the fence. I don't think we should do it. But look, we're going to keep looking for a shirt. So, you're from Tauranga. I love Tauranga. I'm normally in Tauranga, except for when I'm traveling. Count me in. But I know you're going to get one, Steve, because you love the art and you want to support me and the artistic process and things, but does that strike you as fair? I don't think that's a fair amount. It feels like it's too much. It feels like it's it's a nice shirt, but I guess I've been shopping at op shops, which are thrift stores, for so long that I'm used to paying, you know, $2 to $10 for a shirt. And now these Hawaiian shirts are coming in and trying to charge me juicy 110 US dollars. I'm thinking, I don't know if we should put that out there into the world. I'll tell you what. Well, I'll take some, here's what we'll do. I'll take some up close pictures. It's not here with me at the moment. I'll take some up close pictures of the stitching and how it sits and the feel and things. And you guys can make a decision. And I want you to be brutal. Don't be like, oh, it looks nice. Not helpful. If you don't like the stitching, or if it looks cheap, or if you don't like certain areas of it, rip it out. Because I don't want to send a product live that you guys don't like. They take about 10 to 20 days to make, another 5 days to ship. So just keep that in mind. But so an order gets processed about 25 days. And we'll have them actually named after work, so that'll be pretty fun. But good luck. Yeah, that's the thing though. So let's take some photos. Let's see how we feel. You may like it. You may not like it. Oh no, okay. It's interesting you say that. This is a prototype. The one I'm talking about is 10x the quality of this one. This one has a little bit less saturation in it. So if I come up close, see how the printing fades away a little bit? It just gets a little bit blurry. This work, it's kind of the charm. But if you want crisp brush strokes, it needs a stronger, more crisp print finish. Yeah, so we get in there. We get in there, step by step. I'll post some pictures. Steve, you're on watch though. Don't you dare just leap in there and say you like it. If you've got negative feedback, I know we try and avoid that, but please share it. I want to hear it because we want to be brutal on something before it launches. We did the, I got burned with the puzzles. We launched those, and then I realized they had like 64 pigments they were using. Guys, we need more than 64 pigments. Jeepers creepers. Like, it was just, the puzzles were cool, but they didn't have that depth of color that they needed to have. So we got a little bit, I was a little bit like, I refunded a lot of people for the puzzles, basically. I wasn't stoked. And I don't want to do the same thing for the shirts. So I'll show you pictures. We can make our minds up. Basically, we'll make the decision as a team. I think that's the best way to do it. We'll do a poll or something. people can vote. If it comes out that people don't want them, so be it. Love that, love that. Look, honestly, when I go out in these shirts, this one and the other one's called, the other one's got a name. It's called Imagine, and it's literally John Lennon's face, massive on the front and back, kind of funky. And they're a special kind of Hawaiian shirt. You cannot wear these things out and turn everyone's heads. They are out the gate. Like, if you think this painting's a lot, wait till you wrap it around your body and stroll down the street. It is an intense statement. Like, I've answered the door with it, and the people who answer the door literally go, they look at you and they do the old double check. They're intense. They're very intense. I took a textile class in art school. It's unique. Love it. All right. All right. Unique's what we're after. Unique's what we're after. The problem is, a lot of the time, if it's not exploding with that colour, if it doesn't have all the pigments on it, it won't have that unique, powerful colour. I live for intense statements. Love that. Of course you do, Jim. I know that. I could have put those words in your mouth for you. But yeah, we'll get the artwork that's the most intense, you know, colourful, explosive, because if you're gonna wear a Hawaiian shirt, it's got to be a statement, you know? It's got to be a real powerful statement. And we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go. This might all fizzle right here and now. When everyone sees it, I think, no, 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 no. I kind of like it though. I kind of like it. Right, sorry, getting distracted. Onto the peach. We're putting peach into this painting, putting it around the edges. This is kind of lighter, and one thing you'll notice as a mechanic, the mountain here at the moment, it does switch quite suddenly to the light colour, and although that happens in the picture, I want the mountain to be more subtle and smooth, nicer. My hometown looks good. Yes, Jim, this is a commission from a man named Jacob. So Jacob loves Palm Springs, and it's actually a portrait of Jacob. So it's Palm Springs, it's inspired by the reference picture, but it represents Jacob. So we're deviating from the exact layout of this painting in the reference picture and allowing it to be a little bit more impressionistic and abstract to actually represent someone as a metaphor. So the palm trees look more like fireworks. The water has these lovely colourful reflections in it, and the building is slightly more abstracted. We're just using a whole bunch of forms and colours that Jacob likes to identify with. He sent me a bunch of architecture that he loved, and I'm using that as the inspiration there. So we don't just want deck chairs and umbrellas, we want chaotic colour. And that's the plan here. That's the plan. But Jim, you're going to need to make sure, when we get to the end of this one, confirm for me if we actually do capture the vibe of Palm Springs, because we want to get the energy of that place in here. You too, Steve, I know you know. I know you've been to Palm Springs. So we need to make sure we actually capture that Palm Springs vibe, get this explosive amount of colour in here. These mountains, warmth and resilience, that's what they need to give. So we're going to make them really, really strong in there. As far as the composition goes, that's the one thing that almost has a complete solid colour through it, the red. Everything else is every colour, but the mountain is warmth and resilience. That's intended. Of course, everyone in Hawaii dresses up with a Hawaiian shirt when they go out. That's a fact. If you're just joining, guys, this is a picture of Palm Springs, and we're adding some more touches onto it. I thought we had it there. I thought we had it. But sitting there with it last night, I decided I want more. I want more. greedy Kiwis wanting more. Put it at the top of a newspaper article. We're back. We're adding more paint to this one. And I just want to see it. There's a saying that I say, which is, it's not finished until you love what you've got more than you wish to see what it can become. And I really, really want to see more of what this work can become. I just don't feel like we're 100% there yet, but we're getting close. Paint me in a Speedo in there and make it 100% authentic. It can be done, Jim. It can be done. You know what? Right after this piece, March, April, May, early May, we'll lock you in for a commission early May, and we're going to paint Palm Springs again, and you're going to be right at the front there, when at the hand on the hip like this, and it's not that full power pose, it's just like a lean forward, staring off at a 45, and you're going to be holding a pink flamingo, which is one of my favorite cocktails, and you're just going to have it tilted slightly, just pouring it gently, because you're like, I'm going to have 15 of these today. I'm not worried about this one. I'm just enjoying the moment. And you'll have this sort of Greek statue look to you. It'll be fantastic. And we'll have a sort of a spatial, if you've got a new iPhone, you'll know what the spatial effect is. So when we shoot it, everything else will sort of fishbowl around you, so you're the centerpiece. It's going to be magical. It's going to happen. Jim's like, you know what? Let's actually do it. Oh dear. I think one of the greatest portraits we've ever done was a Tinder profile pic. I tell no lie. It was a picture, and he's like, "Can you do a portrait for me?" I said, "Absolutely, I can." And he sent me this picture, and it was him, and he's kind of like closed his eyes slightly, and he's pouting. And I said, that is the greatest. That is so unique, because these selfies like that, we always keep on our phones or send. We don't actually ever paint them. This portrait in an impressionistic form will be borderline 100% unique. There'll be nothing like it anywhere in the world. And people were like, why would he want that? I was like, this guy at this moment right here is such an artist and a visionary. And we painted it, and I tell you what, it is still to this day I keep thinking back to it. It's one of the coolest portraits I've done. It was quite early in my painting, and I didn't get a picture of it because I'd just love to show you guys, but we did stream it. And it was just, I mean, what a special piece. Jeepers creepers if you guys were here for that. Perfect, you really get me. You're gonna look great, Jim. It's gonna be heroic. And we can call it the we can call it the Lanahan. People won't know if we're talking about the hotel he's in front of being the Lanahan. Maybe that's the name of the hotel. But really, or if the Lanahan's the cocktail being poured out. But we'll know it's Jim. It's gonna be next level. They're gonna hang it in the Louvre. You know, walk in there and they're gonna push Venus aside. She's gonna be in the corner of the room now with a small plaque, and you're gonna have the Lanahan right there. It's gonna be, I'm getting excited now, but it's gonna be 48 inches by 60 inches with a frame on it that's about 13 inches wide, and it's just going to be a massive, with lights coming from all directions. Oh, mate, everyone's going to talk about it. You'll be trending. Hashtag Lanahan. You won't be able to go on any news station without hearing all about it. It'll just be absolutely off the rails. I'll have to shut down my email. Just too many news stations trying to interview me. You'll have to move. You won't be able to go to any more malls, Jim. You'll be flooded. You're like Zac Efron trying to walk into an H&M. There's no chance. frozen pina colada. I do like those, but only when they're made fresh though, because a lot of the time when you eat a frozen pina colada, they give you one of those drinks that's like a syrup and they mix it with the ice. And that's not the dream. It's not the dream. The dream is when the frozen pina colada is made from scratch, you know, blended. When it's got that proper frozen cocktail taste. You got, if you know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. It's pinned to my IG profile. I love that. I love that. For those who don't know, a couple of years back, Jim and I connected. He actually tagged me in a few story posts, I think, if memory serves. And I said, look, let's do a painting. It wasn't a commission or anything. I just thought, let's just paint Jim. This be fun. And so Jim sent me through a few pictures, and I saw this one of his face, and he's leaning forward like this, and again, really dynamic face. A lot of the time when someone sends through a portrait to paint, they're like smiling. It's their best angle. In those moments, the photo has done a fantastic job. But with Jim, it's this fun portrait where he's leaning in, so the glasses have changed their perspective. And in that moment, when we painted that, I asked him what his favourite song was. We used that as the music for the reel that we made. And then Jim's like, you know what? This has been so much fun. How much for the painting? Long story short, that painting's hanging at Jim's house now. And it's a pretty fun painting. Pretty fun painting. But another thing that's really fun, like this one here with being a commission, is that you can actually find a lot of pleasure in the subtlety of what a portrait can be. This one here been a portrait of Jacob. The beauty behind it is that for a lot of people it's just a landscape, so they can connect with it without knowing him, pick up on the vibe of it, and then there's small little Easter eggs all the way through it which tell us who he is. And that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing. I'm going to grab a little bit of gel here, guys. Da-da-da-da. Just going to put this in here. Yeah, there we go. Lovely. Mix that in there. Gorgeous. If I come up here and show you what's happening here. Diving into a blue, and this is textured gel. So I'm going to mix that in there. And that's going to thicken the paint up a little bit. See that? Waylon, good. Having a bad hair day, but we are good. Whew. Trying to get control of it, but losing it every time. And having a good time here with this massive portrait. Massive portrait. So we're adding on in a little bit of this gel. And what the gel's going to do is it's going to thicken the brush strokes. So you're going to get some of the texture of each stroke, but you're also going to let this paint sort of thicken on the edges of the brush. And on the edges, it's going to mean that the texture is just going to rise off the surface. And that's what we want. We want the light to start catching it from different angles. If it was going to be completely flat, you'd have to wonder, why not just get a print or a photograph? Because the whole surface is just flat. The allure or special part about a painting is the fact that on different angles, when you're up close, this texture, this third dimension comes into the artwork and just really leaps off the page at you. Without that, I mean, it's playable, but like even Monet and Van Gogh works, when you go up close, Van Gogh was massive on an impasto style. It had a huge impact on how he made his work. And you can look at Starry, Starry Night and think, Okay, I sort of see what he's up to-ish. But then, you go see it in person, what happens? Suddenly, this extra dimension comes into it as it rises off the page, the surface, the wood, whatever. And you suddenly realize, there's more to this. This is fun. That line, this is fun. You're not gonna, I think the biggest deception we can make is when you think, go see the Chicago Art Institute, it'll change your life. You'll have this euphoric moment. Art wants to be fun. And when you see it, it wants to give you that little pick-me-up. And Van Gogh's works will do that. You'll be like, oh, I can see the brushstrokes. I can see this is quite fun to look at. Now, the power in that, just like music, is that millions, in Van Gogh's case, billions of people can have that same fun moment, that same little kick of vitality. That's what gives art purpose. If you think about some of those earlier works that we did, going well back a few years, think about Mahalo, think about Zambezi River, think about Cassie's Joy. These are in homes now. South Africa, Hawaii, Washington. But the joy they continue to provide for people, I love it when I open my phone and I see someone's found some of those old reels of Mahalo or Zambezi or the surfboard, hibiscus surf, or Cassie's Joy, and they're just commenting and liking it, and I think that work is still providing joy out in the world. I think that's the purpose, that's the point. Will you vinyl the painting in the end? When you say the vinyl, whatever, vinyl painting, like a varnish. So that's an interesting thing. If you varnish a painting, and typically the status quo on that is varnish the painting and it all will just shine the same. You can lose something special because you have an opportunity when you're adding paint to it to change the gloss level. So at the moment, we're painting completely in matte. The painting is not shining at all. It's completely opaque. So the colors will really pop for us. But then at the end and in the last moments, we'll start adding on a bit of the gloss varnish. And we coat the whole thing in a bit of matte varnish, just to give it a final layer of protection. But then the gloss varnish just to highlight a few little points to make things pop on the surface. You don't need to do one consistent varnish. Use the same brand, but chop and change. And that makes it really, really fun to see the work from a distance. Or to have the work in your home, especially in changing lighting conditions. Change your life. I love how you paint in Indonesia on the beach and they're painting the dog rescue there too. Yeah, I haven't seen that dog rescue painting for a long time. That's still at Pt.7. And that was really special. That was really special. Hard work with the amount of dog barking. That caught me off guard. But what did I expect? But really, really fun. I still remember that dog there, Bintang. Bintang was a lovely dog. Needy, but like unapologetically needy. I feel like that's okay. We are in New Zealand. Do you want me to take you for a spin, guys? You ready for a spin? And thanks for 10,000 likes, you pack of legends. All right, come on around this way. There's a mountain behind me here. I haven't climbed it, but you can see the sun is about to set down below it in about an hour. We've got plenty of time. And then there's these two little islands out here. They're as clear as day today. There we are, 1 and 2. They're in the middle of the lake. They're just floating there. If I had a longboard, I'd go out to them and paddle around them, but someone was asking me today, are you an ocean lifeguard? It's like, no, I'm not. Who would have thought I'd be I was in another life qualified as a lifeguard, but who would have thought I'd be I was in another life qualified as a lifeguard, but separate. and away. There we go. Gorgeous. That's absolutely stunning. So I want it. See how I get down to these bottom parts here as well? The size of the strokes will increase as you go deeper, because down in these lower parts, it wants to have that perspective just ever so slightly, that down here closer is bigger. And that way, from that distance point, as you head backwards, this very subtle perspective is built into the work. And that's the goal. There we go. Still working with this Snoop Dogg's favorite color, baby blue. I feel like we should make another one too, which has got a little bit more pigment in it, and call it, baby blue. So it's OH space baby blue. Little sandflies biting me. I need to respray myself, Tim. Can't be having that. Cheeky little monkeys. Oh. The sandfly here are absolutely prolific, but it's okay. I'll manage, but jeepers. They're nibbly little fellas. Oh, guys, we had a goal and we've just achieved it. It's pretty fun. We've received all the hand hearts we needed for the day. You pack of legends. And yeah, Ray, this is a wonderful location. We're lucky to be here. That's for absolute sure. I'm going to put one of these treasure boxes up again, guys, because they're kind of fun. There we go. I need to go into a live and actually figure out what the treasure box is doing, because at current, I don't understand. Some of you were here when I tried to dabble with music. So there's an option where you can actually turn on music in the live via TikTok. And then I couldn't figure out how to turn it off. It borderline ruined the stream. Not for me, I couldn't hear it. But for everyone trying to watch, they were just stuck listening to like repetitive jazz music. I felt a little bit bad about it, but again, I couldn't actually hear it. Oh dear. So I haven't touched that button since. I learnt my lesson in that one area. And hey, for those who have subscribed to emails as well, there'll be a few of you here. Sent out an email today for the first time in a long, long time. So it was an email with an update about where I am, what I'm up to, the next exhibition. We've actually got an exhibition coming up. How crazy is that? I've managed to stockpile a bit of work, and I'm in a little bit of trouble because I pulled work out of the house to put up. And Shelby says, we might be tied up for April. I'm not taking commissions in April at the moment because Shelby's told me I'm on a very, very strict guideline here, which is, rule here, is if the work she likes sells, I have to replace them with, you know, another kind of work. And it's a bit tough. I'm like, Shelby, if you keep wanting to keep your favorite works, someone has to buy them. She's like, nope, they're mine, I'm keeping them. But so basically, if they sell at this show, they're features of our house, and so I'll have to repaint them. You just got it, loved it. What did you get? I'm excited to find out. And the prints are released, by the way. So if you're a print lover, the one that I've got myself, the one that's really, like, sometimes the work comes along that's really quite unique. And Sampans and Shelter, the artwork of the Hong Kong boats, that's got something pretty cheeky in it. It's I can't stop staring at it. Similar to how I couldn't stop staring at the valley I call home, but with the Sampans and Shelter, it's a place so far away. It's this exotic thing, but it's also a sunset, which we're also familiar with. So it's got this familiarity combined with this kind of exoticness. And it's at the same time, one of the things we're trying to grab was the old with the new, traditional with the modern. And it's funny because I really do feel that. Just like I said, I feel that that familiar with the exotic, which in a way is my way of just explaining traditional with the modern. It's special anyway. Oh, you got the email, fantastic. We got someone in here from Indonesia. Whereabouts in Indonesia? Because that's a big place. You've got Java, you've got Bali, you've got Lombok. You could be at the highest hill in Lombok, or you could be down in the Gillies. Tawanga, if that's how you pronounce it. Gili Air. And there's one other one. Gili Air, Gili T, I forget how to pronounce it. Tawanga, Tawangan. And there's one other one, Gili Air, Gili T. What's the last one? Someone help me out here. Aku Janga Indo. So wait, hold on, help me out here. Whereabouts in Indonesia is that? Are we in the? So we've landed in Kuta, Bali. Are we going south to Ubud, north to Ubud, south to Uluwatu? Are we going out west to Java or east to Lombok? This will be a good lesson for everyone else who's never been to these places as well. You can start. Indonesia's a disgustingly beautiful place to visit. You must go to that place if you ever get the chance, guys. Ubud. Gorgeous. Where the monkeys are. One extra monkey while I was there, that's for sure. Right, there we go. I loved Uluwatu. Definitely a tourist town, there is no doubt. But Uluwatu's where the surfboard was from. There was a guy who owned a surf shop in Uluwatu, and it was his board. So the owner of the shop had finally decided to part ways with this custom board that he'd been surfing on. Really unique board, super hard to find. It was an artifact in its own right before we even bought it. And when I was looking through the boards going, which one am I going to paint? I saw that one. I said, that's the one. That is the one. And he said, that's really interesting because this one here is special to me. And there was just no other board. It was just the best one for the job. It's just funny that from someone with very, very little to zero surfing experience, me, chose out that one. It's pretty interesting and pretty cool. But it's really weird, guys. It's wide and short. It's quite thick, so it's kind of we code nicknamed it Potato. And it's got 4 fins, so not the 3 fin setup that you see these days. It's got 4 fins on it, and it's about 5.11, or it's 5.4, I forget, feet. It's just an absolutely interesting board, but custom made. I actually reached out to the creator of the board, but he never got back to me. Tragically, never got back to me. So, what do you do with that? A little look-see here. Yeah, this blue's doing good, guys. It's just pulling back those reds and blacks a little bit. We're going to keep playing with it a bit more, adding a bit more texture to it. There we go. Little pockets. It's funny. You're always toiling away in these little spots. You're not sure if you're making ground, and then you step back. Just like in life, you step back and then you see all the effort you've put in slowly building into the overall picture, just one little stroke at a time. I am not single lines then. I am taken bacon, so we say in New Zealand, taken bacon. And I've got a lovely daughter as well, a delightful little daughter. Her name is Cooper. She's currently sleeping about 10 feet away from me. My partner Shelby's put her to sleep, and I'll be having a glass of Pinot Noir with my partner Shelby after I'm finished here. So if I try and escape early, you'll know why. You'll be like, he's not finished with this layer. It's not fully wet. He's just trying to run away and have a glass of red wine. Classic artist, that's what you'll say. For now, you have my undivided attention. Still working with the sky blue as well, guys. See that there? Because we got so much, let me bring it up here, we got so much of that textured gel there, and we're just slowly eating through it and adding it to the surface and building up that impasto texture and tone within the work. And these lighter colours are just going to gently pull back the intensity of those magentas, the reds, the blacks. Feels like a breakup, but a little bit of the ultramarine blue. I'll miss you. Don't go too far. My favourite colour, ultramarine blue. Absolutely gorgeous tone. Absolutely gorgeous tone. Right. Gonna go up a little bit higher here. Right up around the top. Up to the tippity top of those trees. The palm trees, guys, if you're new here, these are palm trees, but they want to look like fireworks. We're trying to make them look like fireworks. We don't want to have palm trees that just look like palm trees. They're representative of fireworks. So while we're still capturing them as palm trees, we want them to feel explosive, like a celebration. Like they're not just reaching into the sky or waving in the sky, but they're exploding into the sky. That's the play here. This picture's a celebration, and therefore these palm trees are celebrating. It's essential. I'm putting the paint on thick and spreading it out in a way that makes it feel like these palm trees are actually exploding outwards, covering the canvas. Thick globs of colour. Some of it strong and deep, and other parts of it more subtle. There we go. Do we have a, is Jay here today, or are we on our own team? I am. I'll take you for a little look-see here. So, Stefan, you like this one. I love this one too. It's coming along well. Now let me spin you around here. Tony, this is the campsite. So there's that mountain there, a few little spots. We're on the edge of the campsite at the moment. And we've come down here to explore the South Island. Couple of reasons. First off, fun way to do commissions. Second off, the next fun thing that we can do here is we can inspire new originals. So I've been building up an archive of photos in my phone and ideas to just build on. And one of the things I wanted to do is literally go down and abstract artist, long, curly, surrealism, Salvador Dali. Salvador Dali, when he was trying to capture water, he realized that he couldn't really capture it from a distance because it all got so far away and granular. So he actually went into the water and swam around while he painted. Now, we don't need to go that deep, but we do need to be in the water, so knee deep, to actually be surrounded by the reflections. And then with gouache paint, I want to play with capturing them. That's my current plan. That's my current plan. Uninitiated at this stage, but that might just happen. It might just happen. There we go. Spread this out. Hey, naughty little sandfly trying to give me a bite. We're not going to play that game, team. We're not going to play that game. We don't want to get bitten by sandflies. Don't know why they want me so bad. I'm covered with insect repellent from head to toe. I reek of it. It's like I've been putting it on like a cologne. Just covered in it. And yet, here I am, still with sandflies crawling on me. The determination, you have to acknowledge it. It's really quite incredible. All right, let's get this up in here. And another thing too is these pants. Pretty excited about these pants. I got these pants from an op shop for $2. $2. $2, team. $2 little dollars. Crazy deal. Crazy deal. Now little sandflies going into my eyes again. Shoo. To be fair, my face is the one part of me that I didn't spray because that'll get me coughing and spluttering. So, fair. This is the world we live in. Let's get a bit more up in here. And just keep building up these trees. We're going to do something a little bit more wild here now too. The blues are a bit more out. I'm going to add in some greens, and these greens are going to start diving into these areas of ultramarine blue and black, and not changing them, not drastically, but just adding a bit more depth. Because the black's going to sit there. There's this abundance of colour, and then just in those deeper black areas, it just loses a bit of that intensity and just goes a bit flat with the depth. And so this green's going to act as kind of like a bridging colour between the other saturated palette. Wild pigment everywhere. And those deep dark blacks. Of course we want the deep dark blacks, but just a little bit of this green is going to have a massive, very pretty effect. There we go. Beautiful. It's a few cut lines, not everything. Not every defining line needs to be done in black. We can play around with a few things. There we go. And of course, we're just going to get a little bit predictable. Not to a huge degree, just to a small degree up in these trees. Because trees are green. Currently my trees are blue, orange, yellow, and red. Who put 7 charge of painting trees, right? But, that being said, a little bit of green, just a hint to reality, is a powerful move. We're not wanting to fully escape reality. We're trying to embrace the beauty of it. So, a little bit of reality. As I do this stroke and a sandfly bites my leg, that's living, team. That's living. I sprayed that part and the sandfly's on there. This is unfair, team. These sandflies are crazy. And if you didn't get the email today as well, team, then you can dive on the website via the link in the bio, and there's just use the sign up form and you'll be away. I've got a plan. I've got a naughty, planned plan. My plan is that those emails are going to go out once a month. So there won't be another one until March. There'll be a March update. And in that update, it's going to be pretty special because everyone there on the collectors list, I'll send them a catalogue of the art that's going to be at the exhibition, and you guys on the collectors list get first dibs. So it'll still be viewed, but you guys can actually buy it before it goes live here in New Zealand, if you would like it. That's entirely up to you though. But whether you want the artwork or not, being able to see it before it gets released and having the option, that's kind of cool, having the option, whether you're buying or not. So if you want to jump on the collectors team and see that, then you know where to go. Otherwise, just hang out here, that's cool too. Don't let a random Kiwi painting at a campground in the South Island of New Zealand tell you how to live your life. You say no to that, man. It's not going to rain. Oh, look, it might actually. Yeah. No, thank you. It might. Coming from that direction. Fair comment, loser. Loser. You are not a loser. Unless you're stock and you've already shorted yourself, and therefore by losing, you're winning. You know what? If you're doing that, you do you. But otherwise, if you're just genuinely losing, you swap that name. You take those words out of your mouth and you start winning, mate. One thing I used to say all the time was, I'd be like, all right, we're going to try and make a masterpiece here. It might not happen, but we're going to do our best. By saying that, I breathe life or hold space for the artwork not becoming something. Do you see how that's dangerous? You've got to put all your energy as the creator into believing it can be something. You're the mother of that work. And if it doesn't go anywhere, that's a tragedy. But it wasn't because you didn't hold space for the idea it could be a masterpiece. Don't be that one. No, it's a nickname from high school until now. Are you happy with it? We can change it right now if you like. I can give you a new nickname. We can change it. We can turn over a new leaf together. You don't need to be known as loser. Tell you what, you may love it. If you love it, cool. And if you want to change it, we as a team are going to come up with a new nickname for you. Something cool, something swish, something that if you were on the cast of Grease, you'd fit right in with the gang. I call you Thunder. Thunder's not for losers. Thunder's for kings. If you want to change, there you go. Always have it. Cheers, Utterly Dairy. Utterly Dairy, you don't need a hand. You've got it all sorted. Utterly Dairy. You're just a person who loves dairy. You know what? About 8 years ago, everyone knew me as an operations manager of a restaurant franchise. I was strict, I was to the point. I was all the things. But no one knew me as an artist. And now, in 2025, no one, about maybe 15 people, maybe 100, know me as a restaurant, know me as a operations manager of a restaurant chain. Everyone knows me as an artist. What's the point of that? What's the point of me telling you that? You don't have to be shackled by who you were. You don't have to be shackled by who you are. This world's got enough space in it for you to change and change and change and change. And there's no way that the way you start will definitely reflect who you are. And there's no way the first time you change, you'll get it right. It's highly unlikely. You're going to change over and over again, and it's going to be healthy, and it's going to be part of your personal growth. You look at Ian Ian, the guy who plays Gandalf. You look at him, he changed. Well, did he change? He came into his own very late in life. You can always jump on Google and have a look. What age did someone make it? What's the latest someone's made it? Some people, there's some people in the world who didn't pursue careers as artists, until they were 90. Let that sink in. Who didn't pursue careers as artists until they hit 90. Google that. Now what that tells you is that no matter what you're doing, it's not too late. Time is ticking, but time has not talked. Put that on a shirt. Time is ticking, but time has not talked. You can still do whatever it is you've been wondering or wanting to do. At a certain point of time, whether it's 200 years, 100 years, 20 years, 4 years, 2 months, or a day, we'll all breathe our last breath. And everything you've ever done, the whole game we've played, every single piece, every single move, and every dice roll will get packed up and put back into the box, never to be unpacked again, depending on your religion or beliefs. But if there was even the slightest chance that that's the case, and this one chance you do have, you have to pursue every single one of those moments. Sometimes you're too tired to. I get that. I'm a new dad. I want to pursue every moment. Man, sometimes I'm tired. And that's okay. But to say you're not going to do it because it's too late, it's never too late. I went skydiving with Shelby on one of our first dates. I wanted to make it exciting for her. She was scared, but she acted tough for me. And there was a lady there skydiving. You know how old she was? She was there skydiving. It was her first time. She said she was going to do it. Leap out of a plane, fall from the sky, pull a parachute, and slowly descend back to Earth. You know how old she was? She was 75 years old. And she said she was going to come back when she was 85. Ain't nothing going to stop her. Now, age isn't the problem here, team. The problem is the belief that if you did it, if you gave it a go, if you put yourself out there, if you tried to be or expose that real version of yourself, people might hate it. People might see you and make you feel like you should be ashamed of that. And that very feeling, that anxiety that could happen, locks you in perpetual fear. And that perpetual fear stops you from ever living. You see, too much is at stake. Too much is at stake. You cannot sit there and think you're not going to pursue your dreams. You get to the end of your life, and dreams don't have to be big things, guys. It can be just like this, going around the South Island in an RV, painting a few spots. It can be the simple act of painting it all. I started painting originally because it was good for my mental health. Well, when I got back into it, at the age of about 27, I started painting because I knew I had to. I knew I needed the creative outlet. I started a live stream because I wanted to connect with my family and let them see. Because I knew it would be good for them. And then, silly me, I left the stream on public. Which was arguably one of the best things I've ever done. Because now, there's a community. And we're bringing life to more people. And just like Coach Carter says, if we can let our own light shine, we can unconsciously give other people permission to do the same as we are liberated from our own fear. You can be 90-year-old artist. Absolutely. Picasso was still making portraits of himself. What was he, 93? There are limits, guys. There are limits. But they're far, far higher than you've ever considered they would be. It's not like there's no limits, but they're beyond your wildest dreams. That was where I started. That was my first streams on Reddit. That's so cool. Welcome on in here. That's pretty special. So for those who don't know, when I was talking about that first stream, that was actually on Reddit. It was in a restaurant storage shed. I was looking after getting a restaurant set up after one of the COVID lockdowns before I headed back to the head office in the North Island as the ops manager of a family restaurant called Cobb & Co. And I started painting in the storage shed just for about 4 or 5 hours. I'd finish up what I was doing around 9 p.m, pack up everything, make myself a cocktail, put on my headphones, wander out to the shed and paint. But a small part of me didn't want that moment to disappear. I wanted that moment to live for a bit longer. I wanted to share with my friends and things. And so I started just streaming live on Reddit. And the big moment came when I turned back at the camera, and because Reddit, you could go quite viral. I turned back at the camera and there was 24,000 people watching, and I froze. It was more than I could handle. That was not what I signed up for. It's much more manageable now with TikTok because we sit on a constant, what are we at now, 52 people? That's manageable, all right? That's not freak out material. But when you go on the front page of Reddit, boo, because you go out there to anyone in the world, anyone, it was the Wild West. Questions you'll answer you wouldn't believe. Comes in here. Oh dear. But that's the way it worked. You'd start your stream and everyone was equal. Didn't matter how many followers you had. And then depending on how many likes you got or how many people stayed watching it, woof, it would go to the moon. And that happened. That happened. And cheers, guys. We're sitting on 24,000 likes. That's a fair few, you bunch of champions. I really appreciate that. TikTok knew and put you. That's fun. And Brad, thank you very much. Cobb & Co. Yeah, it's actually a, for you Americans in the room, you might remember Wells Fargo. So well, not remember, they exist, but Wells Fargo went down through Australia and New Zealand under the brand Cobb & Co. And Cobb & Co. was, Freeman Cobb left Wells Fargo and he, waving away a bug, left Wells Fargo, started up his own company, very similar to Wells Fargo, in Australia and New Zealand. So he came out to New Zealand, well, started in Australia, came out to New Zealand as Cobb & Co., so Freeman Cobb and Company. And he got down to New Zealand, and then the horses and carriages and the hotels and things in between. Oh yeah, go on then. Thank you. Bit more of this. Became irrelevant because we got cars. We could get in between places straight away. And so these hotels were slowly disappearing. But in the hotels, before they disappeared, the brewery in New Zealand called Lion Breweries set up restaurants to sell their booze. And these restaurants were called Cobb & Co. Cobb & Co restaurants, just like the old pioneering coach lines. Now the coach line disappeared and the restaurant persevered. And now they're not even part of Lion Breweries, they're part of DB, a different brewery chain. But as Kiwis, we recognise it as a family restaurant. Americans might know the title, And Australians strongly identify with it because they remember it from when it came through their country. And for them, as such a massive continent, Cobb and Co was a big deal for them. A massive, massive thing. Does it not itch? The mozzie bites do, yeah. That's why I sprayed myself with a bit more of the stuff to sort that out. Cheers, guys. 25k taps is no small feat. When we came live today, did not deserve to go that well. Who deserves anything? But did not expect to go that far. I was going to come and hang out with you guys and say hi, but we've gone all the way. There we go. Yeah, I'll just do a little spin with you actually. Come look at this. And there is that mountain. The sun's still there. We've got about another 15 minutes when it dips. Then we'll call it a day, guys, because we'll lose that saturation of colour. But right now, we seem to have it. We seem to have it good. Put you down here. There you go. And the wind stopped, so I've got a bit more control over the hair on my head, which is fantastic. This is the South Island of New Zealand. I'm from the North Island, but for the rest of the world, you'll know New Zealand is just one big old place, and that is totally acceptable. And if I sound Australian, don't worry. If you think I'm Australian, I won't be offended. Australians are pretty cool people. We like to act like we get offended. It's like with your brother or sister. You like to act like you don't like him. But us and Australians, we're tight. We're very, very tight. And that's an important factor. And I think we remember that when it matters. There we go. Beautiful. This kind of work with the amount of colours and detail it has in it. This is going to be a really fun one if you're going for an A1 size print, just because of the intricate detail that will be in it. Who has the tapper? Is that a thing? That's hilarious. Cheers, Steve. 100% correct. 100% correct. So, baby's fast asleep now. Shelby will be waiting on me going, come on, let's go have that wine. What's your problem? And I'm like, Shelby, I'm making good progress with this picture. Gotta keep going for a little bit longer. You're a legend, Jay. What'd be cool though too is if the gifts, like if you gave like a kiwi or something, it would like auto tap 50, you know what I mean? Something like that would be quite fun. Because I go on some streams sometimes. I went on one the other day, I think I gifted a Galaxy, and then I gifted it, they were on maybe 200 likes. Galaxy goes through, it's exciting, it was fun, like it always is. Features with animations are just fun. And then they're still on 200 likes and the moment's passed. But actually being able to, have an impact. So then I gave a whole bunch of likes and then moved on. But you know what I mean? Am I talking nonsense? Yeah. I feel like roses should be worth 10 likes. You know what I mean? Or imagine if you could choose. It either gives a cent or gives 100 likes, and you get to choose what you set it to. That could be fun. Now we're working with a fresh colour here, guys. This is teal. So it's not that full green, but it's also not that baby blue. It's somewhere in between. And this teal's going to come in here and just have this beautiful effect of, again, creating that connection between the light and the dark, but also teal is just a fun colour. Every time I go into this live, there's someone hitting on you. I know. But you know what? Shelby's a strong, secure woman who can handle it. She can't help it though sometimes. She jumps into the comment section on a video here and there and lets someone have it. There was this one thing that happened at the TikTok Awards. I got interviewed by this like 18-year-old girl. She was doing a great job. Anyway, I was there with Shelby, and Shelby's literally behind the camera. So she's behind the camera with the person filming the interview, and I'm talking with this person. It's super hot outside, and I can barely hear because when noise comes from everywhere, I just can't. Like, I'll just smile, but I have to hear because I'm being asked questions. So I'm like leaning in to hear, and in the comment section after the interview, this person's like, "Oh my God, look how uncomfortable the interviewer was." She wasn't. It was just completely normal. But Shelby leaps on in there and goes, "You know what? I was there." Like, blah 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 blah. I'm like, good on you. Got to stick up for what you believe in and dive into a comment section or two. Matt, welcome on in. Matt, I've caught a few of your live streams. Now it's great to see you back in this one. Where it all began, baby. Where it all began. I was more meaning it's so gross. I mean, you're free to express your feelings. And I think that one thing we do a pretty good job of in this live is I think we create a space which is open, and I am comfortable enough to be vulnerable with you guys. And I think that's a really important thing, because that vulnerability, that level of comfort and that level of fun that we allow ourselves to have in this space, that has a huge impact, because we're making art and we're letting our sort of true self flow in front of a camera and sharing that with strangers all around the world. And I think that's quite a confronting thing. If you are scrolling through social media, which can be quite shallow or fake at times, and I think you arrive at this, it feels different, and you don't know what to do with that feeling that you now have. And I think people misconstrue it in maybe a way in which they didn't intend to, when actually they just felt a little something and it felt good, and it actually had nothing to do with me. But hopefully they take that with them and go into their life, and whatever joy they can extract from this, take from this, they can take that into whatever they're about to do. It's yeah. I see it occasionally, like when I see videos from Jim Carrey, I just can't help but to be absolutely sucked into the interview that he's having, especially the ones he does now, because he looks directly at the camera and he's so raw and real, and I just can't help but to be completely engulfed in what he's saying about identity and happiness. If you know what I'm talking about, Google a few, or search for a few Jim Carrey interviews. He's something else when he talks. He's done a lot of funny movies, but now he's very open and clear and articulate. Are you camping? I am. Well, I've come down here to the middle of nowhere in the South Island, and I couldn't fit this canvas in the back of a regular car. So, to to make it work. We're travelling around the South Island in a giant RV. It's the only thing I can get the proper amount of storage with. And if it works, and we inspire this work, and inspire a few other originals, well, we'll take that idea, we'll extrapolate it, and we'll just keep seeing where it takes us. Here we go. Gorgeous. All right, team. We just hit 30,000 likes. Guys, you're a pack of legends. Thank you very much. I'm going to do one more little bit with this last bit of paint on the plate here. But then your artist is going to dash. But you absolute pack of legends. Thank you very much. That's a lot of tapping. I think maybe a few taps came from my end with sandflies landing on the screen. Whew. Because the sandflies here, man, they are prolific. Man, they're prolific. Whew. They just keep biting me. There we go. Doesn't matter how much sun, how much stuff you put on, they just keep coming for you. All right, and we'll pause there. All right, the biting flies, they're the worst. Karen, we'll see you later. Steve, thanks for being in here. Thanks for moderating. You too, Jay. Really appreciate it. And Ryan, RC, if any other folks are here, thank you very much for joining in. See that one there? Right there on the neck. Not the Adam's apple. That's normally there. Right there on the neck. All right. I'm going to get inside. Get away from these little fellas. Cut this stuff out. Wishing you all the best from the NZ studio, which today is by a little lake here in the South Island. Time to get out these sandflies. Done some great work on this. It's getting to a really, really fun little pocket. Thanks for being here, team. Catch you later.